Okay, so today we are jumping into the best time to buy and sell stock problem. Let's first break down what this problem is asking us and see how we can come up with a solution. So the problem states you are given an array prices, where prices is the price of a given stock on the ith day. We want to maximize our profit by choosing a single day to buy one stock and choosing a different day in the future to sell that stock. Return the maximum profit that you can achieve from this transaction. If we cannot achieve any profit, so I guess if they're always down days, we'll just return 0. So pretty simple, but we'll just make sure that we understand what we're doing here by looking at an example. So let's say we have our prices, array prices, and let's say prices is the array of 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, and 4. So just from eyeballing this one, what we want to do is somehow write a program that would find buying on day number 1. Remember, this is going to be day number 1 right here, since arrays are going to be 0 indexed. And then selling on day number 4 when the price has jumped up to 6. So I think now that we understand the problem, let's see how we might be able to come up with a solution. So the one that immediately pops out to me is just a brute force approach where we try all possible pairs of numbers and then just see which one has the biggest difference in profit. And that one would be the one that we return and be the answer. But that's going to be a little bit slow. We would need to do 2 loops for that. So our runtime would be something like n squared. I think we can do something better. So in order for our solution to be more efficient, we need to see how can we reduce the number of pairs we're having to look at. With that brute force approach, we would having to be looking at pretty much every possible pair of numbers, but is that really necessary? Instead of doing this, we can just keep track of 2 things: the smallest number that we have seen so far, and the difference between that number and the price on the current day. Let's see this in action to see what I mean. From our example, let's keep track of the smallest number we have seen so far. So we'll see smallest that we've seen so far. And then we'll also keep track of the max profit. So that's going to be the difference between the smallest number that we've seen so far and the current day that we're on. So let's look at the example. So when we start out on day 0, the smallest number that we've seen at that point is going to be 7. The max profit for that day is going to be 7 minus 7, which is 0. So I'll write our max profit here as 0. On day number 1, we have a new smallest number, since 1 is less than 7. So I'll update our smallest to be 1. Now we'll subtract our smallest from the current day. So we're at 1, our smallest is 1, so our profit is still 0, so I'm going to keep that where it is right now. Then we'll go on to day number 2 here. Now, since 5 is not smaller than 1, our smallest stays the same, but our max profit is going to jump up on this one, since now we would be getting a profit of 4 instead of 0, so I'll update our 0 counter. Going through day number 3, not smaller, its profit is not more, so it stays the same. Coming to day number 4, 6 is not smaller than 1, so smallest doesn't. However, our profit jumps from 4 to 5. And then when we go to 5, it's not our smallest, and it doesn't have the most profit. So we end our loop with our smallest being 1, and our max profit being 5, which was the number that we were looking to find before. So let's code this up and see what this actually looks like. Okay, so we're back over at LeetCode, trying to type up our solution now. So we said we needed to keep track of 2 things. We need to keep track of the smallest number and the max profit. So I'll do the smallest, we'll just call it X, and we'll set it equal to the first of prices. And then for our max, I'll do max profit. And we'll set that equal to 0 right away. And all we really need to do is just loop through the array. So we'll say 4, and we'll get the nums within prices. And then we will set X equal to the min of the number that we're currently at and itself. And then we'll also calculate the profit and keep track of that number. So we'll have max profit is equal to the max of num minus our smallest. So that, again, that's the current position that the array that we are in, and the minimum that we have seen so far, or max profit. So whichever one of these is bigger. So that's saying that the maximum profit seen to this point. So if it was 4 was our max profit, and our new number, if we were to sell today, if our profit to sell today was 3, it wouldn't update it. But if it was greater than, then it would. And then once we get out of the loop, we know that we have the max profit in there. So we will just return max profit. And now let's submit our solution, see if we're right. And hey, not too bad. So that's this. And hey, not too bad. So that's our solution for the best time to buy and sell stocks. Hopefully you learned something. Please make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and hope to see you in the future. See ya.